In this video, we're going to be talking more about the HackEMR. And in this video, we're going to focus on the arbitrary file uploading exploit in this machine. So right now, this EMR uses basically the most simple possible way of this kind of file upload exploit. So in the patient upload tab, click on that. It has your patient ID lookup. So I'm just going to type in patient number 1. And you can see here we have the patient record along with patient files. So right down here we'd have the patient files. It's currently empty. And the way that this is structured inside of the server is if I open the terminal here and do LSL, this is the structure of the EMR system. And right where here we have a folder called patient files. So if I change directory to patient files, there's 5 folders because right now there's 5 patients. This isn't the best way to do this, but for the time being, while it's still in development, this is the current way it stores files. So if I go to folder number 1, these are all folders, by the way. You can tell because they all have this letter D in front of the string here. So that's a directory. So if I change directory into folder number 1 and do LSL, you can see there's currently no files inside of that directory, which is why there's no files showing up on the page here. So right up here we have a file upload prompt where we can upload a file to the patient record, and it gives us a browse button and an upload button. And this might seem innocent enough, but in reality, in terms of how the code for this is structured, there is no checking to see what kind of file you're able to upload to this directory. So right here is the code for the upload for this page, for the patient page, and the upload function is right here. And if you're familiar with PHP at all, you might notice right now that it's pretty much just wide out in the open. There's no security at all. But the important takeaway from this is that in this function here, there is absolutely no checking at all to see what kind of file you're uploading to the server. So to exploit this, I'm going to go back to the page here. I'm going to click Browse on the upload file. And for Kali Linux, if you go to Other Locations, Computer, then User, and then Share, there's a long list of all kinds of tools and different types of data you can use for hacking. And scrolling down to near the bottom, there's going to be a folder for web shells right here. So go ahead and click on that. Go to PHP, and we're going to upload the simplebackdoor.php. So select that and click Open, and then click Upload. And what you'll see here is that we now have a file listed under patient files called simplebackdoor.php. So now that I've uploaded this file, I can go back to the terminal window here, and I'll close out of Vim, and back at the main directory, I'll go to the patient files and then folder number 1. And you remember before how it was empty. If I do LSL, now we have this simple backdoor.php program. And you'll notice that the entire server, the way the system works for the EMR, it's all PHP files. So each one of these, except for that one, each one of these will define how the EMR works. So it's executable code. And we've inserted our own PHP file containing executable code into the server that it's not supposed to be there. So something interesting happens when you click on this. So if I go back to the page here and I click on this link here to simplebackdoor.php, it executes this PHP file as if it were a program that the programmer put onto the computer. So this right here, this output text, is from the simplepassword.php file. And you can see that it gives you an example usage. So in this case, it has simplebackdoor.php !command cmd equals and then cat etc password. The question mark is a general query. The cmd is a variable. In this case, this is the parameter of that variable, and it's what's going to be executed by that program. So if we copy paste this from the question mark all the way to the letter D, and copy it, and then paste it onto the end of this link here, like this, if we press enter, you can see that it has run that command and is showing the password file on the computer. This would be the equivalent of going to your terminal window here and doing cat etc password. This gives you the same data as over here. Except in this case, the attacker wouldn't have a terminal window like this, but they still have terminal access because they're able to run arbitrary commands through this program that we uploaded. More commonly, what this arbitrary file upload exploit is used for is for phishing attacks. So if you've been sent a link on your phone or through your email, something from a website saying, hey, you need to click on this link and give us your info so we can unlock your account or something, almost certainly that's being done through a website, something like this, that's been hijacked to serve a phishing site that's designed to steal your information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload to this server real-life deactivated malware that will create a phishing website where usually you would send the link to people and then hope that someone would click on it and enter their information. So for this example, I have this paypal.tar.gz. I'm going to open it and upload it to the server. And now I have it here. Unfortunately, you can't run it right now because if I click on it, it will just have you download it like this. What we need to do is we need to extract the contents of this so that we can click on the PHP links by themselves. And to do that, we're going to use our simple backdoor that we have here. And the command we're going to use for this is we're going to type in $cmd equals tar plus xf plus paypal.tar.gz. So now that the files have been extracted, we can go back to the EMR, go to patient lookup, and then we can see here, since we already selected patient number 1, we now have the listing for that patient. You can see now we have a whole bunch of files that have appeared under the patient files. And you can see these are all the files that were located in that tar file. So now when we click on login.php, we now have what looks like a PayPal login. But look at the link. This is not PayPal. So what we've done is we've inserted a phishing website into the EMR system, and now we can send this link to people. If we were a bad guy, we can send that link to people and hope that they put their login information into here, and then we'll have access to potentially their PayPal account. So this website is obviously fake, and if you enter in your email and password onto here and click login, it's not actually going to log you into PayPal. It will take your login credentials and then email them to an attacker at this case. This kind of attack is extremely common. It's one of the most common attacks you can find on the internet, basically. And this kind of attack is done kind of in the same way every time. It's just uploading files or including files into a page that's not supposed to have these. In this case, we've done it in the most simple possible way. Normally, it takes a lot more effort and work to actually do this, but the end result is the same. We've now taken over this page, and we could even do things like insert our own custom replacements for files. So if I go back to the home page here, in the directory for the home page is just this index.html. That's what's called when you go to the main page here. So we could replace this index.php with our own website or our own script or something and take over potentially the entire website. Normally this isn't the goal though. The attacker is usually not trying to completely break the website. What they're trying to do is hide their phishing attack very deep inside the system so that they can steal the resources from the server and use it to financially gain. And they don't financially gain if they make themselves immediately known by destroying the website.